Jimmy Lewis with DirtBikeTest, and today we're in South Carolina riding Yamaha's X and FX dirt bikes. So Yamaha invited us out. They wanted us to bring us out to the East Coast to ride some GNCC-like conditions, and we rode the YZ450X, the YZ450FX. All new for 2019 is Yamaha YZ450FX. The cool thing about this bike is it got all of the updates that the YZ450 got and even more. Some of the coolest things, it has the button like the YZ450F has. And what's interesting about the button is it activates two different maps with a simple just push, and it lights up and you know whether you're in one map or the other. Another thing that Yamaha really went to the extra effort to was to increase the fuel tank capacity on this bike. That was something that we complained about on the old FX, and they worked on it on this one. So maybe the tight woods of South Carolina are not the best place to introduce a bike like this. A big 450 is still a big 450, but of all the FX or cross-country style bikes, I always felt like it was the lightest feeling one, and Yamaha has done a pretty good job of getting the bike to feel a little bit more powerful, but still not really going up in weight. It's still, for a 450, feels pretty light and agile in the woods with a very responsive motor. The suspension is again a little bit on the stiffer side. It wasn't anything that we could take a couple clicks out of the compression and get it working real well, and it's definitely adjustable. It seems to fit riders in the 180 to maybe 200 and 210 pound range, and still remain plush, and you can get out on the track and still do some motocross jumps, and it's not a YZ by any means, but it's pretty good. It's definitely capable. When you start breaking the package down, probably the coolest thing is playing with Yamaha's app that now works with this bike. And you can really take the motor from mild to wild, and depending on what you want, you can do it with this app. It's just a matter of taking the time to play with it. We didn't have a whole lot of time to do our own customized maps. Yamaha provides 4 for the YZ450FX. There's one that's called Torque that kind of deadens the power delivery overall, but gives it, you know, kind of more of a chuggy 4-stroke thing. There's a high revving one, which kind of it felt like it leaned it out and made it a little more snappy. There's one they called MX Feeling. And this is the one I really liked because it gave it a lot more throttle response and allowed you to run the bike in either mode and kind of get a pretty responsive feel. And then they have one that's very mild, and you turn that one on, it's like turning on traction control. And by choosing which map you put it in with the selection switch, you can kind of have 2 different motorcycles with the push of a button. And the way that the throttle is connected to the rear wheel, which has always been a good trait of the Yamaha, this just amplifies the bike as a complete package. So I'm thinking on every account, on my book, they've improved this YZ450FX. It'll definitely take us bringing it back out west to find out how it compares to some of the other bikes, which I think have some advantages out there. But back in the tighter conditions, it's almost, I wouldn't say it's like riding a 350 because it has way more power than a 350, but it's the lightest, most agile feeling 450 I've ridden in the trees in a long time.